Hello everyone, so this is my ninth discussion post. So first of all, I'm doing two independent random samples of adult women. Each sample has a sample size of 50. The first sample is a random sample from the population of Nigerian women. The second sample is a random sample from the population of adult women that live in the United States. So my null hypothesis is that uh, Nigerian women's average height will equal that of the United States women's average height. My alternate hypothesis is that Nigerian women's average height will not be the same as United States women average height. So first of all, the study is independent and randomized. It easily meets the 10% condition. And finally, the success failure condition is greater than 10. So I'm going to flip over to Excel real quick. So here's the raw data of the study. Um, Here we have in column B, we have all the heights of Nigerian women taken in the sample, and column C is the United States women taken in the sample. But over here, when we look at the histogram, this is what really tells the story. So we can see that the mean of Nigerian women is about 62 and a half inches, while the mean for the United States women is about 64 and 3/4 inches. Um, so obviously the United States is about 2 1/4 inches larger. But when we look at the maximum and minimum for both of these countries, they're within the same ballpark. I mean, they're pretty close. So the maximum for the United States is 70, while the maximum for Nigeria is only 1 inch shorter at 69. And the minimum for 50 is 56 for Nigeria, while the minimum for the United States is 58. So once again, the United States is only 2 inches bigger, or taller rather. So if we were just looking at the maximum and minimum, we might assume that the mean is for both these countries would be maybe within an inch of each other. Uh, Not much difference. But when we look at the standard deviation, that kind of tells the whole story. So the standard deviation for Nigeria is 3.25, while the standard deviation for the United States is 2.54. And looking at the histogram, we can really see the difference. So let's look at the range between the heights of 56 inches and 60. Um, so we look at that for Nigeria, and we can see that there's obviously the bars are higher. There's far more women that fall under that category. When we look at the United States, very, very few fall in that category. Then we look at the range for, say, 64 inches to 68. That's where a large majority of the United States women fall. And look at that majority for Nigeria, and it's not exactly the same story. There's clearly less. So the hypothesis, or my hypothesis testing procedure, level of significance I used is just the standard 0.05. We used a t-test for this data. And I'll bring us over to that real quick. So the difference between the two means is about 2 1/4 inch or inches, as I already stated. The degrees of freedom, of course, is 98. If you just add the sample sizes of both populations and subtract by 2, you'll get that. And the test statistic is 3.8254, which is obviously kind of large. The p-value, by looking at it, clearly less than our level of significance of 0.05, which is going to cause us to reject the null hypothesis that we originally had. And going back to PowerPoint, so the test statistic Really doesn't even fit on this chart. Um, it's so 3.8 is obviously way over here, like way over here where my mouse is. So I didn't even shade it in because I couldn't get a little or insert a shape that was small enough, I guess. Um, but if I would have shaded it in, it would have been a two-tailed test because because it's not equal to, or the alternative hypothesis um, was that the height of Nigerian women will not be equal to the United States women. So it would have been a two-tailed test. So in conclusion, the average heights of American women and Nigerian women are not equal. Instead, our random sampling groups have shown that women in the United States are taller than women from Nigeria on average. So this is my discussion number 9 post. Thank you for watching.